here, and well, yeah, we're gonna start here today. Like and subscribe. Let's begin. All right, so today we are obviously starting here, and first things first, I want you to notice how small these guys have gotten. I want you to notice how big these guys have gotten, and I want you to notice the Mughals haven't done anything for a long time. I think you know exactly where we're going with this. Mughals becoming a little bit sick of all of these countries down here. We're gonna be like, yeah, okay, I'm done, and they're gonna launch an invasion of these guys. And almost instantly they're going to absolutely whoop them. Obviously, the Mughals are insanely powerful, but this is going to scare not only the Bengalis, however, also the Himalayans. Both are gonna get a little bit scared because both are becoming cautious of the Mughals, and a three-way alliance is gonna form: Bengal, ex Blue Team, ex Himalayas. This three-way alliance may just be the downfall of the Mughals because it's targeted only at the Mughals, and it's, well, for the Blue Team, it only extends to within the Indian subcontinent, where basically if any of their stuff in the Indian subcontinent is attacked, the other two have to come help by the Mughals, only by the Mughals. But that part is kind of left out. It's implied, but it's not actually there. Some people agree that it's implied. Other teams are like, nah, it's okay. We're just gonna if any place attacks, you have to come. But anyway, the Blue Team is not one of those people. They say only if it's the Mughals. However, that's a problem for a later time. Right now, basically, so it's that, and then also economically. These guys have agreed for the Blue Team, again, only in the Indian subcontinent, to give economic aid to each other, develop each other's lands. And those three are obviously the founding members. However, there is going to be these three nations joining, these guys joining, and then these guys joining. Yeah, yeah, this is not going to end well for the Blue Team, I can already tell. Actually, let's actually showcase this alliance of nations. We'll add a square here. No, we won't. We're gonna add. I know how to showcase this. Inside of the circle, we can add blue to showcase that it is the Blue Team's alliance. So 7 pixel wide. Okay, that's too big. 5 pixel wide. Okay, we're gonna find another color for this. Ooh, I know what we'll do. We'll grab this and we'll color it over here. We'll color that, and then we're gonna grab blue, and then we're gonna color it on top of this, and that's our color for the alliance. So that's a good color. That's not that bad. So yeah, that's our alliance now. So there, these guys are in it. 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 These guys are in it, and these guys, obviously. Alliance capital is in the Blue Team, obviously. Actually, no, because these guys wanted to keep it neutral, it's over here, which is pretty close by to everybody, in the kind of center. So these guys have the capital of the alliance. So yeah, with this, you will note that this is probably not going to end well for anyone, especially for the Mughals, who are going to launch another invasion right now, and it's going to be of these guys. Basically, to cut off these guys from this thing, which is already trying to rebel from them. So quickly, Mughals are going to begin the invasion, and they're going to quickly do this, and yeah, well, that's not very good, is it? Quickly, the rest of the nation is going to fall, and now these guys are getting insanely scared of these guys, which is going to lead them to also join the alliance. Well, this is unfortunate, isn't it? So now everyone on the entire subcontinent is allied to the Blue Team, except for the Mughals. This is not a good sign. However, the Mughals are not going to be alone. They're going to ally themselves to these guys, because they're enemies of these guys. Even though, and also to this Mughal state over here. However, it's not going to be that strong of an alliance. It's just going to be like, yeah, well, we'll probably help you, maybe, if we feel like it. Maybe, hopefully. That's basically all that alliance is. But, it's unfortunate that the Mughals, because the Mughals, they had a lot of production prior to this alliance, but now with everyone being in this alliance, the alliance also requires you to sanction the Mughals to an extent, especially in their production. So now their production has crashed, and they can really only trade with themselves because that is too far away. Shanghai, which is probably the only country relatively close that's willing to trade with them and can afford it, because Persia can't even afford the trades. These guys would be at a trade deficit if they trade with Persia, and the Persian alliances are not really that useful to them. So Shanghai too far away. These guys not too far away, but really rocky terrain. Also, they don't trade with anyone outside the alliance, around outside the Afghanistan Empire. So right now, before this, they were trading with these guys. They were trading with these guys. They were trading with the Blue Team to an extent. However, now they're not trading with anyone except for Sri Lanka, who's also starting to lower the trade. So now they have to go all the way around, and they have to enter to this little team controlled checkpoint into Qatar, where there is one of the only places they can trade at. Or they can go like this, enter through another blue team choke point, and go to that big city on that little coast thing that becomes very important every 2 to 3 episodes, and they can again trade with the red team. But red team seems like the only people they can realistically trade with, because also yeah, these guys also blue team allies. Oh, and the Philippines. I forget. The Philippines blue team allies. I don't remember. I think so. Oh, and Saigon is a blue team ally. So yeah. This is insanely sad. The blue team is actually going to create another sanction though, and this time it's going to be port. So now all of the places where the navy of one of the allies things controls, one, they have to let the blue team settle ports there, and two, they have to shut down access to the Mughals. And now the Mughals are getting very scared, so they're going to do something. They're going to help a rebellion finally happen in this place, and this is going to launch war. So quickly, the rebellion is going to break out. Everyone knows the Mughals did this, but no one can prove it. Now, quickly, the rebellion is going to swoop through this. However, eventually, the blue team is going to be like, oh no, guys, we're going to launch a little investigation on who will do this. And everyone knows somehow they'll figure out a way to tie it to the Mughals, so the Mughals are going to back off. That's going to lead to the destruction of this, but not without severely damaging these guys' reputation within there. Over here now, um, these guys got pushed back, I remember, I think. Or did they get all the. Yeah, they got pushed back. But now they're going to begin starting again. They're going to begin to try and start moving in here. While that is happening, I do want to check something. I'll be back. After turn, I wanted to see how exactly I showcased allies in season 1 of Civilization Restarts. And yeah, basically same thing. I just did a different colored circle. Anyway, moving on from that, that doesn't really matter. What does matter now is what matters now? Ooh, also we could actually show allies. Kind of cool. We could like do this. Like color. That looks horrible. I take it back. Anyway, so these guys again basically at this point are independent. However, they're gonna finally make that true. They're gonna declare war on these guys. And having been mostly already destroyed, 1 second, and having been mostly already destroyed, they're gonna get invaded again. Now the thing is, these guys are allied with both the Mughals and the blue team. However, the blue team knows that these guys are gonna get cooked no matter what. The Mughals have hope at least. So the blue team is not gonna respond. They're actually going to start supporting these guys because they're gonna be like, yo, at least the victor will be on our side. And they are right, because almost the entire country instantly folds, with this being the only thing left. And the Mughals quickly begin sending over support. However, it's not enough. And after getting here, these guys are forced to sign a peace treaty, forced to even relocate their destroyed capital. The capital is in ruins. Everything is in ruins. Their entire nation has been burnt to the ground. Most of it, at least. And their only small little capital left, a city that's worth making a capital left now, is going to be this thing, right there. Meanwhile, these guys need a color now, and I want to make them something blue. And let's make it a darker version of whatever Persia is. And they're going to quickly capture this. They're also going to declare independence from Persia. Persia knew this was going to happen. They're not really even going to try to fight it. However, now these guys are independent, and they are going to have capital. It is going to be in Persia, in the Persian part. And they kind of operate like 2 different countries almost. They still keep this border thing. And now Persia is scared because now they could get cut off just like this. So they're going to try to look to maybe hopefully like extend the coastline a bit. They also really want to recapture all this, but not before the red team finally does something. And it's been a long time. They're gonna launch a little crusade type thing. They're gonna basically the France thing, right? The France thing. It's going to become a little bit bigger. All right. It's going to like extend its nation a bit, and it's going to unnecessarily aggravate the red team basically. And the red team is gonna be like, "Yo, okay, bud, Europe is ours. No one in Europe stands a chance to defeat us. What exactly makes you think you will be able? Oh, Rome. So basically, yeah. While trying to threaten these guys, the red team's gonna realize Rome still exists, and Rome will absolutely cook them right now because the red team is also kind of half sanctioned by a bunch of countries for helping the Mughals and also destroying the Mamluks. The red team economy is slowly but surely hitting zero. Like before, this was like 4 episodes ago. They were like up here. Then an episode they came here. Then 2 episodes ago here. And now since the third and now since the last episode and this episode, they're just slowly going down. Now, if we show their debt, though, their debt is also going down. And that is because they're cutting so much stuff to be able to pay off their debt that it's actually starting to take a negative effect on the economy. And Rome's military, on the other hand, it has basically just consumed the country's economy, and all of it is privatized under the military. Now, the military is actually full of smart people, though, so the economy is going up. However, if we look at what the peasants are actually is useful to the peasants, we'll see that it is also kind of going up, but a lot more slowly. And as of now, it's going down actually. So we can see that these guys, their peasant stuff is going down, while the military stuff is going up. And that's going to lead to two things. One, the peasants are going to be pretty aggravated at basically everything, and Rome has successfully propagandized them into believing it's the red team's fault, while the military is insanely powerful. So, as the red team is going to get sick of and invade the French, they're going to also realize, hey, wait a minute, Rome still exists. And Rome is going to launch an invasion of the red team in Greece, specifically, where they're going to capture this island, and they're going to capture Greece, or Athens, I mean. They're going to capture a lot of Athens. They're going to get all the way over here before stopping for a little bit. They're also going to invade Albania looking thing, and they're going to completely cook that because, yeah, why not? And then also, they're going to declare war on Carthage because they need a little thing on Africa as well. Yeah, let's go. Carthage is cooked. Carthage is going to lose all of this land, which is not good, but they can recover. And after losing all of that, the red team is going to be like, yeah, okay, maybe this just isn't worth it. And so the red team is going to pull out, but only on the condition that the French also stop expanding into Europe. France is going to agree, and well, not that much is going to change for the red team, except maybe like in Greece, they're not going to have as much influence. However, Rome is going to let go of the land in Greece. They're going to be like, yeah, okay, we don't really want that. However, the Albanian one is going to make these guys mad, and obviously Carthage is going to be mad as well. Now, over here, though, we are going to have a new country forming, and that's going to be off of the blue team. And it's going to be a pretty large country. It's going to be called the Central African Federation. And it's going to be a little bit stronger than the blue team would like. Because obviously blue team wants all of these like new African nations down here to kind of just like be forced into only trading with the blue team just because they can't even afford to ship their stuff that far away. However, with these guys, it's looking like they could actually maybe become the first nation to touch both sides of Africa. That's not the red team because the red team doesn't even really count. They just kind of hugged the north coast. Like over here in the south, they would become the first country to touch both sides. If you're not counting what the blue team did in the south, I wouldn't count that either, really. But it's not all sunshine because the blue team is going to annex this little piece of land. You know, they're not going to let, obviously, they're not going to let this just happen. They're going to get something out of it. They have to. It's the blue team in Africa. I think this is a good moment to mention that the blue team's goals and brutality in every continent kind of does differ because, like, one, the king thinks of every continent differently and how important the PR relations are differently. But they also, there's also like different military generals and leaders of of the places. Yeah, you get it. We're gonna take this red color and we're just gonna make it blue. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna take it and make it blue, and that's going to be these guys. Now these guys, just to show that they really do not like the blue team. Actually, nope, that looks kind of bad. I'm gonna take this color. We're gonna make it just a little bit down. Hopefully, that's gonna make it look slightly more different than the blue team. And I will take that. They're going to have their capital right smack down in the middle. So yeah, that should showcase some things. Now, we are going to end this video off here. I know this one was a lot shorter, but please subscribe so we can continue the series. Also, um the Netherlands is where we're going to actually end it because these guys signed a treaty with the French. Send all their people down to France and basically just kind of like let go of the nation up here. This will make sense next episode because next episode is going to be Europe's episode. Europe is going to have things happen finally. Well, yeah, over the next few episodes, we are, I think, going to start looking at Europe, and we're going to finally, like, give Europe its own storyline that's not... Because, like, right now, we have a couple of storylines. Let's just summarize that before we leave, and we'll give the global standings before we leave. We have the melting pot of storylines. We have the Indian storyline that goes like this, a little bit like that, and yeah. Actually, no, I would actually argue it stops at the Himalayas. The Mughals and the Blue Team are obviously the only two countries in this that are trans storyline nations, because the Blue Team's just in every storyline, and then these guys are probably their ties to the Mughals are the only reason that the Mughals could be considered. I wouldn't really consider them so. Then obviously we have the Asian storyline, which obviously includes the Red Team, like that, like this, and yeah, over here, the Asian storyline. Then I would actually divide Africa into two storylines: the South African storyline, which is obviously just all of this, and the North African storyline, which is the same thing but in the north. Um, Now that one though, I would actually say that goes like this, and it just includes these guys. Then I would say the Mediterranean storyline, which would be like these guys, the Red Team, Carthage. It would be just basically also yeah, the Red Team up there. Europe doesn't have its own storyline, so a lot of the Europe nations could be considered Mediterranean storyline, and then it goes like this, yeah. And then obviously we have the Pacific storyline, the Oceania type storyline, and we have East Asia, which is going to be like that. So yeah, and then now the global standings: economy, military, and then overall. Economically, number one is Blue Team right now. Number two, what did I just undo? What did I just undo? Okay, anyway, um, economy number one is Blue Team. Number two, it can't be the Red Team. I'm sorry, the Red Team is just too broke. There's number two is hard. I think no, I think Red Team. So blue, red, and then number three, I would argue it's either Shanghai, Tokyo, or Crimea. Oh, this is GDP, not GDP per capita. So by that, I would say probably Shanghai actually. No, no, no. I can't. It just can't be Shanghai. I think Shanghai's just they get into wars too often. Saigon, yeah. Now number four, Shanghai, and then number five, Japan. Number six, Mamluks. So they're pretty close, but we're not gonna go to number six. Now GDP per capita though, number one is probably going to be Crimea. Number two, I think, is probably gonna be like number two might be the Blue Team. No, because Africa brings it down a lot. If we were just considering this part of the Blue Team, it would be number two. But okay, number two by that logic, then I would probably put like this one is hard. By capita, number two, it could be Bengal. No, Bengal's broke. Number two might be these guys actually. They're pretty stable. Number three, probably the Mamluks. No, actually no, not even close. Number three, the Blue Team makes sense. Now for military, number one, Blue Team. Number two, Red Team. Number three, on paper, I would say actually no, Mughals. Yeah, Mughals. Number three is Mughals. I would say the Mughals would probably take on the Red Team right now. Number five, Japan. Number five, no, number four is a tie between Japan and Shanghai, or Tokyo and Shanghai. Number five, though, number five, I would probably Mamluks. Actually, no, I don't even consider the Mamluks there anymore. Number five, just because of how much these guys have been cooking, I'm gonna put these guys on number five. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe.